Get ready.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the KeSPA Cup, and Merry Christmas. Our Christmas present to you is yet another KeSPA Cup broadcast. I'm Atlas. This is Papa Smithy. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the KeSPA Cup, and Merry Christmas. I'm Atlas. This, of course, is Papa Smithy, very festively joining me here today. My first KeSPA broadcast, and I get to do it on Christmas Day. It is a Christmas miracle.
And we're all about the Christmas miracles here, and I'm sure a couple of teams today, KeG Seoul, but also the BBQ Olivers, hoping for some Christmas miracles of their own. A Christmas Day esports broadcast, first time for myself and you as well, Atlas. Should be really a fun one. Had the information on the bottom screen. They will actually be moving over to the Free Cup studio, Free Cup TV studio tomorrow, and then we will have a live final on next Monday. But League of Legends every day. Doesn't matter if it's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day tomorrow. We keep going. And speaking of keeping going, yesterday, GC Busan locked their spot into the next round by beating Jinair. And of course, Gen.G took down Sandbox, so they've moved on to the true round of 8, the second round of matches. We're going to get through the bottom matches today to see who joins Afrika versus Griffin, Kingzone versus Gen.G, and KT versus GC Busan Rising Star. So basically, the winners of today's matches play each other in that round of 8.
Yeah, it's going to be some very scary stuff for the winners, but they need to focus on these games today. First up, of course, SKT probably not scared of anything at the moment. They look absolutely devastating. We'll see whether BBQ Olivers can actually give them a run for their money here today. Of course, our good friend LS coaching them along, and as you guys saw, they certainly were scary, especially behind Malice, their new import from Europe.
Definitely the hype storylines follow the second match, but we'll get to the second match soon. The first match is still a hype match to a lot of us because the amount of talent in this next match, I'm not talking about my talent with this very nice hat, but the talent there in the solo lanes especially. We know about DAMWON Gaming. Noguri had a breakout performance at a pro level in their first matchup a couple of days ago. And then, of course, we know about Showmaker and his penchant just locking Katarina at every moment. Yeah. Their opponents, top main, mid main, both top 100 solo queue players, very, very talented and very, very young. So even if the overall matchup is heavily supposed to be DAMWON favored, we said that about Hanwha Life. It's another LCK opponent. Who's to say that KeG can't actually force a result, whether it's one game or a series, out of their opponent's DAMWON today?
And we've seen what happens with KeG players just in general. They get exported around the world. They play on top teams. Khan, pretty sure you've heard of that dude as a player.
Oh, really?
He was a former KeG player last year as well.
What's he done lately, Atlas?
Well, I think he's on that, what's that new team? SK Telecom? SKT?
I don't know.
It's the other. It's the one that does good mobile internet.
I didn't do my notes for SKT for some reason. Weird. Of course, guys, we'll zoom out. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. It's cool to have the festive season going here. I'm sure some of you are spending time with your families. Other people are, wishing they were with families. Of course, this can be an amazing day, a really positive day. It can also be a tricky one. So we actually get to spend time with our families today because we've got the LCK family. We're all coming together. We're going to have what will be a fun broadcast. The competition is, of course, the top integrity. Nothing's changing there. Yeah. But we're going to try and have a bit of fun, just enjoy some laughs, because it could be a long day today, Atlas, even if there's also the chance of it being a 2-0-2-0 day.
Yeah, I really hope it is going to be a long day, though, because, yes, I don't, you know, I'm not commentating all that much as far as the KeSPA Cup is concerned. I want as much as possible, especially on Christmas Day as well. Because if we're going to be here, we may as well be here for the long haul as well, Papa.
It's been 109 days, Atlas, since the LCK final. That's a long time for no Papatless cast. I know I'm feeling a bit rusty. I don't know if we'll have our timings down. Do you know every Australian reference I throw out? We'll get to that, though. There's plenty of time to focus on our banter. Right now, we'll focus on KeG Seoul, this team that won the KeG Championship. 4 out of 5 members, not including their top laner Dawn, went over to IESF and didn't drop a game
they
in that
smashed
tournament.
that tournament.
But that was all kind of the table setting to what was probably the greatest upset we've seen in many years in Korea. KeG Seoul, this no-coach lineup, this pickup team, taking down Hanwha Life Esports. They've already beaten an LCK team. Now they face DAMWON Gaming. Of course, the adaptation, the fact that they could reverse sweep from being 1-0 down with no coaching staff with such a young lineup was already just kind of a Christmas miracle of its own.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely ridiculous, and I'm glad that you brought that up because the reverse sweep factor is so much bigger than you'd think about if it was any other team. Due to the fact that they don't have the coaching staff, they don't have anyone behind the scenes to help them get their mental back in shape. This is a team that lost together and then brought themselves together to find that victory in the next 2 games against Hanwha Life Esports, which is out of control. Some question marks certainly for how Hanwha actually played it out in this very, very quick meta trying to play for late game, which you can certainly point your fingers at. However, I think KeG certainly played absolutely fantastically.
We go to the side of the Rift, and DAMWON Gaming have swung some changes. They are not running with perhaps the expected starting lineup here. Punch and also Hoyt will not be retaining their spot. They started in their first series, but honestly, it was this lineup with Canyon and Beryl subbed in that looked a lot more impressive in their second game victory last time out. So I'm kind of happy with them swinging the axe, going for the lineup that looked better on the Rift, and giving Canyon, better known to some of our viewers as Jug King, the #1 ranked solo queue player for a lot of summer season, giving them a run in the team, allowing this very young player to show his wares, because the jungle position is leveling up again and again in Korea with players like Tarzan and Jug King, now known as Canyon, breaking out and making a big impression.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic play. I have a little bit of question mark when it comes to the support position. I mean, Beryl certainly had a breakout Alistair performance. It was unbelievable when he was playing that champion in game number 2. However, Hoyt, he's ranked 4 at the moment. He has played support for longer on this team, of course. I don't know whether that's necessarily the best call. However, if you just go from who played better in that last series, it does make sense to put in Beryl.
It's all about giving people chances in the KeSPA Cup. There's no riot points on the line here. We're not talking about the World Championship just yet. We're zooming in on this off-season exposition for a lot of the teams, and KeG Seoul, definitely the biggest surprise of the KeSPA Cup so far, taking down Hanwha Life. And the Scrim Gods, that's what everyone knows about DAMWON Gaming. It was whispered by everyone that Griffin and DAMWON were taking scrims off of Invictus Gaming and Fnatic during the World Championships. They were scrimming those teams. Definitely didn't see the best of DAMWON Gaming in game number 1 against Breon Blade. It was actually a very patchwork victory that looked very, very shaky. They had to steal Baron twice just to win the game. But then with Canyon and Beryl in the lineup, it came together in a much bigger way. DAMWON Gaming and their coach, which of course is Invictus Gaming's coach, will want to come through and have very much that second game, just show 2 strong performances. There's anything less than a kind of 25-minute series against what should be softer opposition in KeG Seoul would be a disappointment from the side of DAMWON Gaming.
Yeah, stealing a game just because you managed to somehow pick up a Baron in a way that I think most of us watching didn't even really understand as to how that Baron managed to get stolen. If that didn't happen, that would have been a loss on the first column there for this team. So not what you want going up against a team like Breon Blade, which was formerly Kongbu Monster, a team relegated out of the LCK, unable to make their way back in again, a completely new roster. Like, it's not what you want to see from this team that had a lot of expectations. So right now, DAMWON does need to be the team that we're focusing on as should be able to take a relatively easy victory here against KeG. But KeG was the Cinderella story, whereas DAMWON was the you should have probably more cleanly won this 2-0.
But awkwardly, DAMWON are kind of the anointed Cinderella. So people are saying this team's so much better than you think. It's the next Griffin, it's the next big team. You have to prove that on the Rift in professional game, not just scrim whispers. So let's see if DAMWON Gaming can pick up what was a patchwork first appearance from them. Reminder, guys, we're on patch 824B, same as the live service, 1 patch ahead of the Demacia Cup that was on over the weekend. Nico and Xin Zhao are the global bans, and we do have BBQ Olivers in our second series, so a top laner removed from Hokon.
Yeah, so not going to be happening there. Oh man, I hope that doesn't happen again, even if... Yeah, okay. That was a very confusing draft. We're not going to go into that one because we're in picks and bans here for game number 1. KeG Seoul will be on the blue side to start this one off, and already Camille and Aurelia banned away by them, and Caitlyn Galio to be taken away from Plex and Gumayushi. And I really like this because the two Caitlyn games that Gumayushi played were probably the easiest lane that he's ever played in his life. And hiding the bottom lane here for KeG, I think, is important because their solo lanes are where all their power is. And if you can just put him on a Caitlyn and just let him sit back, it makes it a little bit too easy for these guys.
I mean, Gumayushi had Caitlyn banned once and then had 2 victories at a 10.5 KDA and looked like a huge carry. He was interviewed as the star player from the roster after carrying in that final game victory over Hanwha Live. So I agree. I do like the target ban on that one. Take away comfort from a team that has to defer to comfort more than most. Remember, this team on the left side of your screen, KeG Seoul has no recognized coach on screen or with them over in the booth. So it's just a very weird scenario given what we're used to in competitive Korean League of Legends. And they're going to first pick the Lucians. They're going to stick with a power pick. First pick saw the same thing yesterday. Still a lot of respect for that pick. And no KeSPA to answer, actually one of the more common answers in the bot side. DAMWON are sticking with what the recent trend has been, which has been a lot of top side picks in the first round. Solo lanes and jungle have been first rounded very frequently this week, so after a couple more days of scrims, that seems to solidify the meta. Seems like DAMWON so far have picked for themselves, seeing this Kha'Zix vs Lee Sin matchup once again with SKTT1 trainee Elim picking up that Lee Sin there to answer it. So a lot of farming from Peanut into impact at level 6, but Kha'Zix a bit more potential to get things done earlier.
Well, we'll see whether he can get that one done. I'm shaking my head a little bit at the Urgot just because his win rate so far in the KeSPA Cup is horrendous. About 20% at the moment as far as picking up that champion, but he's still extremely strong. We saw a pretty good one yesterday as well, if you guys can cast your minds back to that. But Sion to be locked in here, continuing that trend, like you say, picking up top laners very early, and Ezreal to be picked up. Probably the more coveted AD carry now that Lucian has been taken off the board.
A lot of bans sent into Flex Assassin's world style has really increased the value of Urgot because he really only has that finite amount of matchups you're confident taking into him, and when the bans are already moving towards champions that fit that archetype, I don't mind it being first rounded here. We're going to see the Sion probably rushing the Iceborne Gauntlet, the Shy style against Urgot as the top lane matchup as far as we can tell. Zooming into the second round here, looking for support on the side of KeG Seoul, and probably mid lane. Small chance that we do see the Sion mid lane, Flash Roll style. Yeah, we already see the Braum banned away from Pop. Pop played 3 different supports, Thresh, Braum, and Rakan, and Thresh has really oscillated the most of champions, gone from first ban status to first pick status to sometimes not even drafted. For now, at least, it has not been looked at by either team. Thresh, for now, will be left open. Might just be drafted with Nuclear's Ezreal here on the red side. And they're going to take away Zoe from Plex. Only played the Zoe and Galio, so we're going to see a new mid laner from the man known as mid-main on the Korean solo queue ladder.
Yeah, definitely has a lot of other things up his sleeve, so we'll see what he does decide to go with here. And 15 seconds, the Thresh is certainly the no-brainer here. You can deny the Lifesteal bottom lane as well as pick up a strong support for Beryl on the bottom side of the
Most teams yesterday were counter-picking support. DAMWON have Showmaker, and if he's on red side, he's getting last pick, and you're always wondering, does he have the stones to lock in the Katarina one more time?
And the answer most of the time is yes.
You can't pick a champion that loses to Katarina or even goes even with Katarina, so no Karthus or TF blinds are going to come on the side of KeG Seoul. What will they choose here for the mid lane? How safe will they go, you wonder? Pop has the decision for what Plex's mid lane champion will be, or if it will be the Sion. We'll wait and see. A flex choice would be really nice here. Akali has had one of the higher win rates of champions in this tournament. They're going to go with the Akali, and definitely an outside chance of it being a top lane pick, but heavily expected to be mid lane for Plex.
Yeah, and I'm glad that, you know, if the Katarina does come in, you can just put the Sion in the mid lane if you would like to, but Lissandra is still available and has been dominating so far here in the KeSPA Cup. Of course, in our second match, Lissandra is certainly going to be looked at a little bit more heavily by a lot of our players, because Faker was certainly causing some trouble on the pick.
When it's been good, it's been really good is what I'll say, because the win rate right now hovering around 57%. What I'll say about the Lissandra is very comfortable matchup into the Akali more than most, because you can take Aftershock and just use her W to proc that one if she's dove onto, and can also interact very well with the Shroud because she has AoE on all her abilities, so very easy to do damage. If you fall into low health, the Shroud will not be your savior. We'll see if there is going to in fact be the Sion mid lane flex that we were talking about, and yes, the answer is yes on that one. Akali doesn't necessarily have a clean early laning phase. It should be big advantage to Urgot in the early levels, but they're going to avoid the Lissandra. Sion's just going to wave clear away onto Showmaker, and maybe this will highlight other members of the teams because KeG wants mid lane to be as non-interactive as possible.
Absolutely. And I actually quite like Akali into the Urgot as well. You can sort of create distance if he gets his shotgun legs out against you and things like that as well. So Doran will see whether he can skirt around the top lane and make things problematic here for Naguri. But a solid team composition to come in from DAMWON Gaming. Not worried about any funny business or anything like that. This is a team comp that we've seen before and we know will work. On the side of KeG, a little bit more fun with the Sion in the mid lane, but still pretty standard stuff.
And I really want to see Nuclear step up, because actually when we spoke to the DAMWON Gaming coaching staff before their first match, they said, I know everyone talks about the top side, zoom in on the bot lane, these guys are really good. Nuclear heavily struggled in their first series, kind of surprisingly. Rank 8 in solo queue. Obviously, a lot of our fans know him for playing on H2K and going over to Europe, speaks some good English. He'll want to really show his wares a lot more solidly in this game. Finally off the Lucian after 2 games. He's going to be sticking on the Ezreal, and the Ezreal power level so far, based on the patch and also the performance we've seen, seems like Ezreal is sky high, especially if you get that safe farming phase, 2 items at 20 minutes. The moment you get going in a big way.
Yeah, and then you only continue to get going further because the double tier build is so extraordinarily strong at the moment. But guys, we are going to have our coach interview in between picks and bans and the game.
네, 안녕하세요.
Yeah, the support of DAMWON is here. Hello, hello.
Coach of DAMWON Gaming, famously IG's coach before.
KeG 서울 선수들이 특정 픽을 잘해서
So how did you prepare against KeG Seoul after they were so incredibly surprising?
또 뱀픽에도 신경을 많이 쓰신 것 같은데 1세트 뱀픽
So it sounds like it's mostly about those certain picks, so that's why the Caitlyn, for example, was
Yeah, the
banned.
power picks in the solo lanes will be strong.
요즘에 워낙 스크림에서 많이 나와서
This
그냥 무난하게
question about the mid
미드탑
Sion.
돌릴 수 있어서 많이 쓰는 것 같은데
네.
충분히 저희 예상했던 픽이라 껄끄러운 건 없는 것 같아요.
아 그렇군요. 또
Yeah,
지난 경기에
they're scared about the roaming, so a lot of roaming potential here coming in. So we're just focusing on trying to take care of them if they're going to roam on us in the early game.
어떻게 생각하고 계신가요?
선수 일단 캐스파컵에서는 일단 선수들을 조금 다양하게.
So this question was about Canyon and Beryl
이 선수들이
starting after being subbed in last time out.
조금 적응 잘할 수 있게 조금 경험치를 주려고 많이.
He just wants to make sure that we can get the most experience as possible on the newer players, so put them on stage for as much as possible. This is a good chance to give them some experience.
뉴클리어 선수나 호이 선수 로얄 로더가 목표다라고 말할 정도로 정말 자신감이 많이
Nuclear and Hoyt, so their goal is to become Royal Roaders for 2019. That's certainly
Man,
going to
that's
be a
putting the
tough one.
coach on the spot with that question.
네, 그 목표가 항상 높다는 거는 긍정적인.
Well, he knew their goal as Royal Roaders,
열심히 할 수 있는 원동력이.
so they set up very high bar, and we think that that is a good thing.
많은 분들의 관심을 집중적으로 받고 있습니다. 또 오늘 코치님이 보시기에
So Naguri gets a lot of attention from a lot of the fans. Are there other players that are on your eye at the moment?
비슷비슷한데 아마 캐니언 선수가 오늘
Well, today
해주지
I
않을까.
think it's pretty much the same,
네, 알겠습니다. 1세트
but
경기 기대하겠습니다.
expecting a lot of big plays from Canyon actually.
자, 이렇게 해서 1세트 경기를 앞두고 있는 담원
So
경기
that's going to be it
김정수
for the
코치님과
interview.
얘기 나눠봤습니다.
Very good to hear from Coach Kim Jung-soo. Man, really putting the coach on the spot. Saying,
Yeah, I know,
it's
right? The Royal
Roaders.
Road.
I know you won Worlds, so LCK should be easy, right? Well, we'll see how easy it is when we get to the LCK. For the KeSPA Cup, sounds like the game is ready to go.
Exactly right. So DAMWON versus KeG for game number 1. See whether KeG can continue the surprises or whether DAMWON is going to play as expected and dismantle the more amateur team. Doesn't feel like amateurs though with the rankings that they've picked up. Good Mystic shot here to check the brush very early on, as already pretty feisty in the level 1.
Yeah, hooray for a level 1 fight. We've seen a lot more fan outs, but it seems like both teams have a lot of prep here Ezreal's cheating because he can just check every brush from 1100 range and
Yep.
doesn't have to commit to anything. Not
Picks
great, not
himself
interested in the
up
team.
a mana potion as well, which is just not fair.
He's pilfering, you know, he's happy to pilfer some items before we get started. So secondary invade here, DAMWON Gaming, very confident around playing around their top side as well. We move out here. Again, the Scion mid lane expected to be pretty non-interactive once things get going. We're zooming in onto the level 1 here, and my biggest takeaway from comparing Canyon and Punch, of course Punch the much more experienced jungle on the side of DAMWON Gaming, and Canyon, better known as Jug King and Solo Q, the prodigious 17-year-old talent. My biggest takeaway between the two was how good Canyon's pathing was in game number 2 of that series. The big play from him was to read that it was very likely the enemy jungle was topside when he set up for a counter gank, and just recall, go take the Drake, and he knew there was no chance of being counter ganked because there was a 90%, obviously I didn't see him, but a 90% chance that the enemy jungle was camping top. And little things like that, having that little tactical nous, I guess you could call it, as a 17-year-old, really does kind of make me excited about where this player can go as he integrates and gets used to competitive play more and more. Let's see how he makes use of the Kha'Zix this game, because Kha'Zix has been kind of the premier jungler, especially with so many Camille bans on patch 824B.
Yeah, and we are going to have a slight pause here, ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of game number 1. So, hi guys. We're going to come back again, and I think this is actually a great opportunity. I feel like this is a blessing in disguise, Papa Smithy.
I mean, I wanted some games, so I don't see...
Well, no. Maybe you'll be more excited now, because it's Christmas, of course, Christmas Day today, and I did get you a Christmas present.
So you didn't tell me about this.
Yeah, this is to commemorate one of our first casts together.
I didn't get you anything, Alice.
And then, well, I'm going to give this to you anyway. This is an old newspaper cutout of our first broadcast on the LPL stage together. Energy Pacemaker versus OMG, if you remember.
Something to remember.
It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Did you run out of money? Why is it in black and white?
That's for an old newspaper cutting.
Oh, really? We were in the newspaper?
Yeah, it was in the news. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm lying. I got you something, Atlas. I got you 2 best of 3s to cast with Papa Smithy 109 days later.
Thank you so
much. I know what you wanted. Now, we're getting an update, guys. It sounds like there was actually a hotkey error on the side of the KeG Seoul lineup. They played a lot of less games, so a little bit less used to the settings here, so it's going to be a slight delay before we get back into
Doran needs to make sure that he gets all of his Akali hotkeys in order, you know? You need to be a bit frantic on that champion,
I mean,
so
does she
does make some sense.
She kind of presses Q a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you press E sometimes, and you need to press W when stuff gets annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You used to be an Akali guy. I've never been an Akali guy.
I was an Akali guy when she was extraordinarily easy. You just dash at people and press Q.
Also, when she had the most specific rune page of all time.
Yeah, no, I really did.
If you joined League of Legends after the Akali rune page, that was the first time where you needed a rune page, or you just shouldn't play the champion.
Yeah, you needed a specific one, otherwise you literally couldn't.
Enough AD and AP to get her passives online. I believe they were Spell Vamp and Lifesteal, I think, were the 2 passives. If you didn't have those...
Oh, no, Damage and Spell Vamp.
Damage and Spell Vamp were the 2 passives, and it was based on having a certain AD and AP amount that you would get from runes and item start. So without that, the champion was basically just rubbish. Without it, you basically shouldn't play it. Even with it, it was kind of like the same as now, where if you're in a Akali main, she's great. If you're not, maybe don't try playing her. But the fact that you needed a rune page that wasn't like communicated in the client, you kind of just had to know this or follow the pro scene or get on Reddit or something, was a very, very different thing.
And there was also a way of doing it as well, where you managed to get like the right amount of per level runes and flat runes. So you needed to buy like the weirdest amount of stuff. She still does have a similar passive, which is useful, at least for remembering the past, but it's nowhere near as ridiculous as it used to be. Do you remember dodge runes, Papa Smithy?
I do.
Oh, good times.
I have a great dodge runes anecdote, but maybe we're going to have to talk about a great game.
Yeah, there's a hook that's going to land here on the bottom side of the map. Already pop off, recent damage back, and Nuclear taken down to 200 very, very early on. Maybe we'll see DAMWON decide not to take that particular trade in the future.
We've all felt level 2 Lucian. Where press the attack does so much bogus damage in the trade compared to the other kind of meta 80 carries. So nice little opening there won't help Nuclear's time. And Lim's going to continue to play bot side now. He was spotted walking towards the bot lane already, so it seems like vertical jungling will be enacted by this. Allows the Lucian to continue to play brazenly.
Well, Beryl is going to find him.
Wanted to confirm.
Yeah.
All about confirming that. He could have gone for a chance hook, but unlikely to get the blue steal away. So just to confirm the vertical jungling that's happening here, and just to confirm that Nuclear and Beryl are going to have to play with ultra respect when dealing with Gumayusi and Pops, Rakan and Lucian.
Well, at least Canyon's going to easily just move over to the blue buff on the other side of the map. We'll see whether he farms out the rest of the jungle as well, or whether he's going to put some pressure elsewhere. At the moment, feels like Plex is just getting shoved in over and over again, which is likely to continue happening throughout this laning phase in the mid. Just going to be a farm off, top side of the map. Doran getting shoved in here by Naguri as well.
I think to slow down kind of Canyon's advance, because the one thing I want to point out is some great lanes for Canyon to gank. Kha'Zix provides all the damage, but none of the CC. Obviously the slow on W is decent, but really is a damaged jungler. Lissandra, and with Aftershock, the setup perfect. The Urgot, especially post 6, has a lot of kill pressure as well. There's strong gank assist for a pre-6 ganker. Meanwhile, Elam can go mid lane pre-6, but especially for the Akali, wants to wait for that ultimate to be available. So given all of those things, you really want to make this Kha'Zix as predictable as possible. And when you know the Kha'Zix is topside, it can basically ping out each camp he takes in order. It makes the predictability factor so much higher and makes things very comfortable for the side of KeG Seoul.
Well, Doran's actually going to stop Canyon's back here, so wasting a bit of time of the Kha'Zix. Going to decide to back yet again. But putting a little bit of dent in the clock could be a problem here for a jungler, like you say, who's been so good at being in the right place at the right time. Right now, Showmaker actually taking a Q that he didn't want to take there from Plex in the mid lane. Going down relatively low and now with no mana at all.
Just about a shopping time, though. He's got teleport, doesn't feel too bad about it. The cooldown on teleport a bit shorter these days, so with the channel time going down as well. Everything's fine on the side of Showmaker. He's definitely not flexing on the Katarina with his red side last pick like he was last time out. Gonna be much more of a team player. We saw yesterday the Glacial Augment Lissandra coming up pretty confidently, but with there being no hard tank, no Scion on the side of DAMWON Gaming, the much more normal Aftershock is probably the right way to go.
Yeah, I understand Aftershock a lot. And speaking of keystones, we've got the Unsealed Spellbook coming in from Plex as well. On the Scion, not necessarily the most common. And you were talking about Glacial Augment. I mean, that would have been an option that I would have expected from the Inspiration Tree. But no, not going to happen this time. Want some flexibility in the Summoner spells.
There is Spellbook on both sides. Possible the matching Spellbook is for Baron or Drake Secure, because the smite from the spellbook when you're a mid laner or a top laner, you're always going to be over-leveled compared to enemy junglers, and thus you always have that 50 to say 200 true damage advantage trying to pick up an objective. Speaking of those objectives, Infernal's being started very early because there's Control Ward Vision around here. This is going to be pretty expected, but does Canyon feel strong enough to walk up? After those early trades, it's pretty tricky to do.
Oh, Gumayusi right over the edge here as Beryl has to try and get back. The double tap not quite enough, and now Pop's being caught. Canyon picks up that kill. First blood going over to DAMWON, and KeG will feel robbed. They are going to be able to take themselves the Infernal Drake, and Elim gets out. In fact, everyone is going to get out in the end, but man, that first blood, that was a steal from DAMWON.
Well, it still ends up being an acceptable loss. One kill for the first spawn Infernal is probably okay. It's not ideal to give up a kill, but the moment that specifically the Thresh walked up here, the theory is from Pop, okay, Rakan walks up and says, all right, we've got this one. I can follow with the Blast Plant. Unfortunately, the enemy jungler is there. They don't have that final auto or two to take down the Thresh. So it just ends up being a little bit too eager from the side of the Rakan, but overall, because they got an Infernal for it, because it is, in fact, named that Infernal Drake, you'll take it if you're KeG Seoul.
Yep. And it also matches the skin choice of Doran here as well, so they certainly needed to make sure that they put as much emphasis on picking that one up as possible.
Well, I don't believe in accessorizing, as you can tell from my Santa hat, so...
It's the complete opposite of what you're doing today, Papa Smithy. Come on, mate.
Oh, it's not opposite day, it's Christmas Day, so... I'm sure the fans know I'm just giving you a hard time because I love you, Atlas. Plenty of love coming out here. Cost of love. The bromance is real.
Thanks, Papa Smithy. I love you too.
And Gumayusi feeling good. Got a big wave to farm down the bot side.
Yeah, he was even before that wave crashed, so feeling fantastic.
He's around the mid lane here. As we got a bit of a visual bug.
Yeah, that was a
Flex overreached for his Q. Here is Canyon. It's going to be a hard
going to come forward. Yeah, he's going to get the snare though, and the Scion is well and truly dead. Manages to get the goal with the E before he goes down. Decides he doesn't want to invest any sort of summoner spell to try and get out of that one because he was dead.
The Evolved Claws there coming up big as well, sticking with what we've seen mostly in the KeSPA Cup. Cleared in our second series. If he plays Kha'Zix, has been known to go W max or W Evolve first on Kha'Zix. We're going to watch the replay here. Whenever you see a Scion mid, you're instantly baited into thinking he can never die, but this is with no completed item, just a Ruby Crystal going on his side. So with the mixed damage coming through from Lissandra and Kha'Zix, everything lines up. The Scion's taken down. That's a nice start for DAMWON Gaming. Second kill on the board.
Yeah, and Showmaker very easily manages to stretch that CS lead to about the 20 mark. Now has himself a kill as well. And DAMWON playing a very different League of Legends to what we saw from them in their first series. This isn't trying to style on an opponent. This is slowly and steadily trying to tear them apart. Working out so far, apart from that dragon falling in favor of KeG.
I think the big takeaway from watching the KeSPA Cup this week is just how important your vision line is. Feels like every game is a sum of the vision line, because every game when it comes to the champion selected is pick comp versus pick comp. No team in this case really does excel in the mid to late game. They're very much about, if we got more members, we'll get a kill. If we've got even members and a vision lead, we'll get more kills. And the advantage to that is, if someone on the enemy team dies fast, it's a 5v4, and your chances of picking up a neutral objective go up. So pick into objective. After about 15 minutes is the entirety of the meta. So right now, the vision tells us that just like it started off with the vertical jungling, feeling pretty happy on the top side of DAMWON Gaming, and meanwhile a lot of the bot side control is there for KeG Seoul. So around 10 minutes, it's Rift Herald time, you'd think, for the side of DAMWON Gaming.
Well, the thing that I'm really impressed with on the side of KeG is how well they've tracked Canyon. He seems to be constantly walking over vision. You see that one ward on the top side of the map in the river just spotted Canyon out on his way towards the top side to take down his Krug, so they don't need to be too frightened of where this Kha'Zix is going to be. Means the bottom side of the map can play a little bit more aggressively, and you can see this is exactly where Elim's heading. Wants to use the blast plant, but it's not there yet, mate.
It's also a very creative gank path to get a Rakan or Lucian with flash up to get a kill, so probably there for partly the counter gank and partly a response. We already alluded to this, but Atlas, I'm sure you've been watching from home, you know that Rift Herald pre-14 minutes is the dream, and if you can get that 320 gold instant cash in, you feel even better about it. So with the Rift Herald being such a high priority objective, extra control wards invested in by DAMWON Gaming, now they have the same amount of control wards top side as KeG has bot side. The Rift Herald will be free, and a bit too predictable for Lucian to be hanging around the bot side of the map. DAMWON know they have no backup on this bot side.
Yeah, and there's also so much control on the top side of the map, just where the waves are as well. Naguri managing to push his one in very, very easily, exactly when the Rift Herald was being taken down. The same thing happening from Showmaker in the mid lane, so very easily done. Reminds me of what Peanut was doing yesterday, just getting the Rift Herald on spawn with his Lee Sin. This time the other way around with Canyon picking it up on the Kha'Zix.
But what you might be surprised about is that Showmaker is mixing up the build even further here. Unlikely to be the GLP, no Glacial Augments. Probably just going to be the Ludens, you know, the very standard mid lane 20%. CDR
That's adding
item.
the Showmaker flavor to the Lissandra, I think.
I think it's partly that, obviously more damage than a Proto Belt in most cases, even though Proto Belt's pretty reliable with all the hard CC Lissandra has. But what it does give is more reliable ranged wave clear, and both these teams kind of iffy on the wave clear. Much of it is short range or requires charge up time like the Scion. So given that if DAMWON Gaming fell behind, they'd really need the Lissandra to shoulder wave clear. Ezreal ult does less damage to the minions at every moment now after the changes, so given
Lucian
that...
the same, actually. It was a change a lot longer ago, but still the same factor.
I actually don't mind going into the Ludens in this game in particular, just given that interaction.
Well, Doran actually going to get a decent trade here against Naguri.
And in all the inaction on the rest of the map, Akali going CS for CS with an Urgot is better than expected. Here we go.
Yep, quickness is going to come down here as Canyon tries to leap away. Blast Cone is going to separate the battle, and the Ignite not going to be enough now as Flex just gets some autos onto Showmaker. No kill's going to happen there. So the Insect is going to slink away and survives this time.
The kick would probably have been enough damage. It would have been a line ball, 50 damage around his... Oh,
Ultimate is going to go slightly wide. Doran. That was a correct use of the flash, slightly skewed to get out of the way.
And it's also had the correct expectation of the matchup, but later than we might have thought. We thought there was a chance for Noguri to run over this lane, but while he doesn't give up a free Gunblade in the laning phase, takes till now. And now Doran actually feels strong enough with the pass to try to lifesteal back up.
Yeah, he's going to come back in. So but thankfully the auto attack is going to help out with that. Bilgewater Cutlass as well, so only needs another 850 gold or something like that for the Gunblade. Auto's going to land here as Nuclear. Arcane shifting forward now. Canyon wants to grab the first dragon here for DAMWON Gaming. Is going to be able to pick that one up, so Cloud heading on over.
Man, this game has really been an extension of what we saw last week. It's playing towards Vision, but it's also a they know that she knows that he knows situation going on here with the little ward put in. It looks like a big investment, but Showmaker's just teleporting back to lane when he teleports the Drake, so he's able to guarantee that the spawn comes in, and now Canyon walks up as they look into a potential dive on the bot side. And no Gumayusi is very low.
Yep, and Rift Herald is about 3/4 of the way through here as well, so lying in wait. Vision advantage here for DAMWON.
Hasn't been channeled here. You can channel it over the wall, but it's too risky knowing that Lee Sin is probably bot side.
Oh, Pop is going to miss that one.
Finally now, they see and they get a bit more information. They channel it over the wall.
And this is going to be a dead turret.
It's also going to get a cash in 1354. When will that charge come in? There it is.
Gigantic. Yeah, that's going to be 2 on the plating, and they should be able to get rid of this turret. Actually, no. So KeG at least saved first turret, but the plating gold is just so much.
You wonder if this will evolve, if the meta around contesting at that 1355 mark. I feel like if they had an extra person coin, there is no, it's 1350, they have to channel it now, they have to channel it now. Maybe they could have delayed the plating, but in the end, the turret goes down, most of the gold is obtained from the side of DAMWON Gaming. No delay available with the conditional information that Elim and the bot lane had on the side of KeG.
Yeah, and that's going to mean a 3,000 gold lead here for DAMWON Gaming. Still, not out of the woods just yet when it comes to the compositions. You mentioned the Akali being strong. Now does have that Gunblade picked up, which is such a huge power spike, always has been for this champion. Just have to try and tidy up this bottom side that has been shoved in over and over again.
It's all about maintaining as much of an even game until Doran can contest both Nogari and Showmaker in the side lane. And that's still an if. We actually saw this matchup played at Worlds. If you remember, Keen was playing the Akali into Urgot and was never actually able to take down the Urgot as the game went on. Can this Akali be able to take down both? Lissandra's a pretty easy task once you get a couple of items on Akali, because Lissandra's burst doesn't kill you and then you do more sustained damage than Lissandra does. But the Urgot can be a more difficult assignment, already has magic resist and armor involved in the build path. An evolving story that we'll return to. Meanwhile, feels like DAMWON Gaming want to keep the pace up, because right now in most game states, in most 3v3s and 4v4s, you pretty confidently think DAMWON Gaming will be picking up the Team 5 victory.
And that was very cheeky by Doran there as well, trying to stick in that brush for as long as possible. Beryl heads up. He's going to put the ward in there to start things off instead of leaving the Akali to lie in wait. It's the ninja that she is. Canyon to take his red buff here, and just some tidying up here on the map for DAMWON at the moment. Elim going to take the blue buff here, decides that Plex doesn't need it.
Hearing a lot of calls behind us, a lot of action here, mostly about setup on the screen. Warding on the side of KeG is pretty good defensively, but not actually to get eyes on the Thresh. Thresh is in a denial mission, doesn't want it to be anything other than chip poke damage going on to this outer turret. 2 items Ezreal, 1 item Lucian lets you know that it's one of those traditional Ezreal cheap purchases getting maximum value out of his Mystic Shot focused build that we've known about for many years here in competitive play. Showmaker pushing in mid and a lot of map pressure on KeG. And this squad, again, lots of young players, no recognized coach behind them. Can they make the right move here? Can they problem solve their way out of what feels like a bit of a smothering by the side of DAMWON Gaming?
Yeah, and I think maybe if we look back on that as far as KeG and how they've been able to win before, it's with flashy plays, it's with outplays more individually rather than as a team. And Sion doesn't necessarily play into that play style. He's more of, let's control the game, let's try and have the right engages at the right times. And that may not necessarily be playing to their strength.
And along that point, let's shine the light on what they were facing on that day. It was a lot of scaling. It was Hanwha Life sitting back and scaling and not contesting much early. DAMWON not playing Hanwha Lifestyle, playing much more aggressive. It's double knock up there.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
That feels good, even if it's not going to lead to any lethal damage inflicted on anyone. This is very much a different style. This is DAMWON playing the smothering, early assertive style that has been the trademark of many of the teams winning in the KeSPA Cup and what we thought would be the prototype way to play on patch 824B. So yes, KeG is staying competitive, but the gold lead is creeping up 100 gold by 100 gold every 10 seconds or 20 seconds.
Right, so we are moving to about a 3,500 gold lead Last update was about 3, so DAMWON continuing to just move further and further forward. Showmaker, is this his build on actually every champion ever?
Double pen?
Yeah, just double pen after your first damage item on no matter which champion you are.
If it works on Katarina, you go with it. Now, he has to throw in a mana item. That's only when he's feeling too feisty on the Katarina. He gets 10
what
kills.
kind of mana item are you talking about?
When he already has
here?
his
like
Magi-
a ghost blade?
Exactly. He gets his mana item after his mana item, apparently.
Yeah.
But yes, the double pen seems to be his way to play. I think double pen's pretty underrated. I think back in the day, the Season 2, Season 3, the adage was if you don't got the AP scalings, you go for the double pen to get the most value out of your flat damages. But
oh, and then Haunting Guy's Sork Boots was just busted strong for a very, very long time. There was about a whole season there where those two items were very, very strong. And I think that it's still the same situation.
whenever you have Proto Belt or you have something like the Gunblade or the Ludens, you know, you have that extra flat damage in addition to things like mana, AP, and CDR, then you're getting more value out of double pen. You're feeling good about double pen, and now they're feeling good about diving WC.
Well, he's going to be able to flash to get out of the way of the first part, moves out of the way as well as the ultimate does fly forward. The Culling's going to get rid of the Thresh very easily as Showmaker now gets double tapped, has to flash and can't get out with that claw as now Canyon is trying to slink away into his jungle. Naguri's here, he's just going to try and back away, does have the control ward there to deny vision, but that's a really good play from KeG.
And when you make a mismove with trying to smother someone, you can't be surprised if they take the cushion and push it back in your face. These guys are proud players on the side of KeG. They are talented mechanical players as well. And that's just an outplay from an overreach by Beryl. Watch the play here and think, all right, I missed the play, I'll back away, I've gone too far. Beryl decides that maybe 0.75 seconds too late, and then he gets turned on. Nice collapse comes in from Pop. They get the first kill, and unfortunately for the Akali, she has to use everything and can't actually close the distance. No third kill there, but the answering 2 kills are the just desserts for the side of DAMWON game.
And also, I mean, Showmaker held onto his ultimate that whole time as well, and I have a feeling that's a little bit more like arrogance rather than he forgot to press the button. He wanted to hold on to that for the ensuing fight, and instead, he's just going to die before being able to do anything.
So they back away here, and now DAMWON Gaming will keep this, have this turret staying alive much longer than they would have wanted. They're trying to double down around the area. They got a control ward. They're trying to zone. Turret gets low and lower, but KeG, they're bringing the Lee Sin, and they think that 3v3, they can repel the advance, which, you know, if you think about it, the answer is probably yes.
Yep, they're going to be able to do so here. Sonic Wave not going to find the target a couple of times in a row here as Beryl was very, very close to getting hit by that, but vision, control being taken back by KeG on the top side of the map in their own jungle.
And what I like about this is they were granted scaling time by Hanwha Life because Hanwha Life are playing a pretty slow game. The best part about this game is they're getting themselves that scaling time by being really smart at their setups to repel things like what should have been a pretty by-the-numbers turret dive. And now, speaking of by-the-numbers...
Choo-choo right into the middle there as Grand Entrance is going to knock up the crab. He's well and truly dead. No way to get out. Just chain CC to death. And now the turret should go down immediately afterwards. Really nice play. Kill into objective, but... DAMWON looking for more, 4 players under the turret.
The CC bar never went around. He was in the air for so long. It was a chartered plane. I want to make sure he had all the itinerary down on that one.
Too much carry-on, I think. That's why he kept getting stunned.
Well, if he had carry-on baggage, he would have come back down to earth. In this case, never. Watch the overlapping CC bar. It's the white bar you see below the blue, above the health bar there. It's still white. It's still white. Yep, he never hits the ground.
He was dead.
Oh, hard times. And that's the tanky guy going down pretty swiftly there on the side. Now, again, they return. Again, they get the objective, but there's no freebies for the side of DAMWON Gaming. They either lose a member or they have to use a teleport to answer the split push pressure from Akali. KeG is making DAMWON Gaming fight for everything on the map.
Yeah, and their 1-3-1 seems to be in full effect here as well, and we'll see whether it can continue to get better and better. The Akali looking stronger and stronger as this game goes on. Also going towards that double pen that we were talking about earlier that Showmaker already has, but now with the very expensive Hextech Gunblade into the Oblivion Orb as well as the Sork Boots, he's going to be a very scary Akali.
But flat pen against already a Cal, soon to be, you would imagine, adaptive.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to go against the old Urgot in a side lane.
To me, again, I look at KeG and say, I can see how they win, but almost every iteration when I think forward involves Akali being able to outduel Lissandra and Urgot in a side lane. Yes, there's always the potential of flanking teleport, but to get the sort of map control, to get a flanking teleport against, again, a pick comp who's all about their own setups and wanting Lissandra to ult a Squishy, is really tricky to get the right flanking ward. So it's much more reliable to set up some sort of side lane play that for now still seems tricky. And definitely Morellonomicon is a start, but there needs to be a Void Staff and more for the side of Doran.
Yeah, needs a few more items before things can really get moving. And will he actually be able to get himself ahead when it comes to those items as well? Because KeG Seoul are 4,000 gold behind, and they're bleeding turrets over and over again. Checking out the vision here available from DAMWON Gaming. The line of scrimmage is not where KeG wants it. All of their control wards are topside, but they are fighting around this Cloud Drake. We'll see whether Naguri's going to be able to get in there. Does have the ultimate available. Teleport is going to get channeled. A couple pinged with the ult here as Showmaker makes his way forward, but he gets stunned up and taken down before he can do anything. Gumayusi's going to be able to get that kill, and now KeG have the man advantage in this fight. Naguri, very, very tanky here on the bottom side, trying to get more. Has to flash his way out as Plex is going to get taken down. DAMWON using their Urgot to try and get themselves a bit of a distraction. Works out very, very nicely, but the Drake does go over to KeG, evening out the Drake count, grabbing themselves a Cloud Drake. As now Beryl finds the hook. That's the Shroud for the wrong character here. No, actually Doran underneath it, looking for even more flashes forward to get rid of the Kha'Zix, and the kickback is going to be enough to secure the kill on the Urgot. And now Doran's popping off, the double kill to come in, lands the E as well. Now Nuclear's in trouble. The last Q, will he be able to find it? Nuclear just trying to get himself out of this fight. It's not going to happen. The Sonic Wave's there, and that's going to secure it. And KeG, can they do it again?
It's a delayed ace. It was such good team fighting from Doran in particular. It doesn't matter that he's flayed out of the Shroud. This guy is an Akali main, true and true. It's so much to watch here, you can't know what to focus on, so we're going right to the end. When you're flayed out, you think you're just going to go down. You're so predictable as the Akali, but we're going to focus on the Akali. And if you were watching this from a DAMWON perspective, it's how good Noguri was before this play started. But Doran continues to duel with the Thresh, takes him down, and now it's a 3v1. They continue to chase. There's not enough energy for Elam to take the resonating strike right at the end here, but it's just great skirmishing from KeG. And remember, they got the damn Drake as well.
Yeah, exactly. Managing to pick up all of it, and that's going to bring the gold well and truly back into touching distance. And they have first Infernal for themselves. The next one, I believe, is going to be an Infernal, so DAMWON have an opportunity to pick up one of those for themselves. But still, this team, if you're looking at scaling, if you're looking at moving to the right parts of the game, they are certainly in a great position to do so. They've got the big true tank in the Scion. They've got the reliable magic damage coming out of the Akali. You saw what Doran was able to do. Some Akalis, you don't talk about it being reliable damage, but when it's Doran, it looks to be a different story, as the Baron has been started here by KeG. Finally, Vision available, but it's already down to about half health. It's not the fastest Baron of all time. Looks like they're trying to beta fight more than anything else. True Shot Barrage not doing nearly as much damage as we expect from that ultimate. And in goes the fight, but Pop not able to get the engage that he wanted. The flash quickness not going to get in there, as now KeG still trying to start this fight. Showmaker with the big flank on the back end, but Doran's already been able to take down Canyon. Can he get more now as he goes into his stopwatch? Naguri just being a brick wall in front of the Akali. The kick out onto Showmaker, ults himself in the backline, and there goes the Akali. Doran not here. This could mean the fight for DAMWON, but can Beryl get anything more done? Nuclear finds himself in this particular battle, gets himself over the wall, and DAMWON Gaming managed to pick up the team fight.
What a hectic fight between DAMWON Gaming and KeG. Beryl was the star at the end. We'll get the replay to show how he kept himself alive with a really on-point flay. Gumayusi thought he would get the assassination, maybe a double kill. Watching the replay here, it's so hectic. My first thought at this point is KeG needs to get the hell out. The health bars they've already sacrificed. Trying to make the Baron start here means when Showmaker shows up, you think it's going to be all over when Pop misses. Pop is out of the fight, super low health, and Scion hopes for a lot of time, as we see picture-in-picture Baron will not come through. But they continue going here. But once the moment that Akali is dealt with, things look like they're going to be a tragedy. Watch Beryl here, who makes the biggest play of the fight. Gumayusi thinks double kill in the backline. Hooks there.
Bad hook.
Whether it was a prediction or fortunate, it ends up being the biggest moment, and he even stopwatch flashes to not go down in a trade kill.
And that was when everyone was getting distracted by Showmaker as well at the same time. He just comes in and picks them out. As we come back to live, no Barons to be started up here, as DAMWON still trying to control the area.
But man, isn't it awesome that these fights are so competitive and hectic? This is DAMWON Gaming, a team that people, especially on Reddit, was super high on. Based on the whispers, we know they're good. Question is, how good? With KeG, this is a pickup team. This is a team that will no longer exist after this time. There's whispers that all 5 players have already found teams because of their showings against Hanwha Live. There's no confirmation of any of that, but that is how much respect has already been shown for them. And they're definitely not putting egg on anyone's faces. They're looking really good, even if they are behind 28 minutes against DAMWON Game.
Yeah, I feel like behind is almost being rude because they've been playing out these fights so beautifully. Doran having to get over the wall, but does so very easily with the E. Naguri's just going to be able to get rid of this Krug camp. Trying to keep the pressure on here on the side of DAMWON. Zelim going to find Canyon. Bit of a confusing situation when it comes to the Spectate client, but Sonic Wave not going to be taken. Second one, will that one be taken? No, it won't.
Our challenge for DAMWON Gaming is find better coordination with Showmaker. Both of his attempts to flanks have either led to a loss or his involvement was actually very mediocre to too late. So finding actual coordination, it's not Katarina this time, it's an initiator on the Lysandra, even if it is still a champion that comes into a fight late at times. Actually leveraging the 40-odd CS lead and the Aftershock Lysandra, who is made truly for initiating, is something we haven't seen yet from DAMWON Gaming.
Well, this should be a free Infernal Drake to come in from DAMWON. Can KeG actually start this Baron and get enough damage?
No, the Baron speed is actually really slow.
We already saw that, right?
It's only Lucian with any Baron threat at all. Akali is pretty mediocre around the Baron and Scions for the turn, so it's one of those games where if you're DAMWON Gaming, your coaching staff in scrims would say, okay, look at these 5 champions and tell me what the speed is. Okay, then adjust your approaches to the Baron. You know that this enemy team is S+ tier at turning. Sion, Akali, Lee Sin, Rakan, so good at turning off Baron, and maybe a C- at actually Baron speed. Knowing that allows you to take those extra seconds that when you're against 3 Mountain Drakes or that when you're against a Cassiopeia team, you can't make the same sort of mistakes when it comes to contesting a lot earlier.
Yeah, and also they have options for checking that Baron as well pretty safely with the True Shot Barrage available from Nuclear. Not much of a cooldown on that one, especially not with the build that he's managed to pick up for himself. 40% CDR already done as Archangels is complete, almost with the Seraph's Embraces. This is about the point where Ezreal turns into one of the most disgusting champions in the game.
And 40% CDR from items, Ezreal's pretty common. The Gunblade is so good for vamping, especially with the ultimate. Even though it's an AoE spell, you hit 5 people, it does like 4,000 damage to the 5 people altogether. And then you're vamping from that. Hearing a lot of shouts around us. Must be all about the setup here. Q comes in. It's all about Baron setup on our screens. And remember, Drake went to DAMWON Gaming. They didn't lose the Baron. And now they got Baron control back as well. So this is a lot of respect being shown by KeG. Or it's a bit of naivety about how strong they are, because they should be in a pretty good spot to fight right now, and they're vacating a lot of map presence in order to keep the game going.
Yeah, I feel like it was a little bit of a gift from KeG. They maybe didn't need to concede quite that much control around this Baron area, but they have at least managed to hang on to vision control in their own jungle. A couple of control wards still giving them access to that Baron pit, at least via the river. And Doran's managed to get to his 3rd item. So Zhonya's has been picked up and the Akali able to get into this split push, but that's not a Void Staff that you were talking about before. I think that Naguri's still going to be able to have it in the 1v1, especially with that adaptive helm that he's picked up.
So many teams have struggled with split push that he goes for a Zhonya and says it's time to team fight with the Akali, which again, I think really does play into the side of DAMWON Gaming. Actually taking down the Ezreal is going to be so tricky. Speaking of Ezreal, Nuclear's been cheeky and gone for Sorcerer's Shoes for just that ultimate poke.
I feel like the majority of the most recent Ezreals have been picking that one up over and over again, meaning that the damage with the True Shot Barrage onto Squishies is ungodly.
I mean, it does damage to tanks too. Again,
well, yeah, that's true.
No longer having any damage drop off in a poke scenario for a spell that's on what? 28-second cooldown with all the Q spam you can do is really, really insane. I think that's what they need to look at, is cooldown on the ultimate and cooldown refresh coming through from the Mystic Shot passive is, I think, the first thing Riot should look at with Ezreal that puts him really over, or just nerfing a lot of flat damage on the ult. Something around that needs to be addressed, so why not exploit it while it's still in the game with a Corki-esque flat magic pen on the boots. Noguri himself just picking up minion waves here. He's up 50 CS as well, so 50 CS
and also
top,
just
30 CS mid.
Managed to get himself a Gargoyle Stone Plate out of nowhere. Just popped over to the shop and grabbed that one whole. So that's a pretty expensive purchase. It's going to make him, unkillable to Doran.
at least until that Void Staff is done. It's being started. It's definitely not going to be enough for a one rotation, but it's going to be a play. They're looking for Showmaker here.
Yeah, he's just going to phase check. All the buttons land, and we're talking about that CC meter that is once again going to be staying up very, very high. Is now Plex looking for more. Doesn't have the ultimate available. They're just going to start up the Baron. A lot of big buttons not quite there. There's DAMWON still wanting to try and challenge this.
They don't have double smite on either side. Do notice it hasn't been switched over to by Noguri or Plex.
Well, Beryl's going to throw a hook very, very wide as now Kamushi gets a lot of damage on the Canyon, and that's the explosion. Doran picks up that kill, now looking for two, finds the double as Beryl cops the Q to the face, and he's so low. Does land the hook in the end, but that's just going to mean that Naguri is going to take all the time to die, and Elim gets rid of him. That's the ace. And KeG, they may have just done it again.
They can't win the game from those picks, but they can certainly get the Baron. That's why you go the Zonias on the Akali. Your team fight is just too damn good. Finds his man, Canyon by far the squishiest member without a Hex Drinker to his name. They take down the Baron, and this KeG Seoul, this giant killing lineup, they're looking to take down another giant, at least in game number 1.
And a 34-minute Baron to come in here from KeG. Let's have a look at the fight again before we break it down.
It's all about target selection. A round of damage comes in, and Doran says, well, you're less than half health. You are dead, sir, and takes down Canyon. The solo queue names here leading to some really good coordinated plays from KeG. When the coordination's been required outside of general macro, like vision control, playing for those picks has been super clean by the side of KeG, and now they have the Baron, and no, they get a couple more picks, this game could just end.
Well, Showmaker putting his face into the brush on the top side of the map as well. I mean, that's almost inexcusable this stage of the game when you're doing the Baron dance over and over again.
This guy is super, super hyped as Showmaker. Rank 7, known to be flexing at all times, Katarina. One tricks, that is something that you know. But again, consider that one of the reasons why he was actually not in the kind of pro scene earlier was because he was literally a Katarina one-trick, Talia one-trick for you, Carl, for example, a Katarina one-trick for Showmaker. He comes in with that background, and if you think about it, a lot of his instincts are going to be solo queue Katarina, as he's going to have to be retrained to be a pro player. And yes, he's had a lot of great games, but when it comes to can you get your flanks down on Aftershock Lissandra, it's such a far cry away that his timings have been one of the big reasons that DAMWON Gaming are not actually winning this game.
Well, Beryl still going to be fishing for a hook here. We've got the flank coming in from Naguri. Has the ultimate available. Turret is going to go down on the bottom side of the map, and DAMWON really feeling the pressure now as Showmaker struggling to clear out these super-powered Baron minions. They just walk so damn fast. I'm still getting used to it, Papa Smithy. These are epically quick minions. As, okay, Doran going to have to go into his Zonias, but I have a feeling that he's well and truly dead. Okay, Q's going to do it there from Showmaker. It's his turn to fall down. Solo Lander going down on the side of KeG, and now teleport. Yeah, we're going to get the flank to come in from both. Naguri comes in. Showmaker immediately afterwards. Claw of Doom is going to get him right in there, but it's a great Q to come out from the Rakan, and Naguri immediately goes down. Double tap Showmaker. He's dead as well. And can they all just go down one after the other is the question. KeG gets the knock up, does Plex. Canyon to go down for the double. It's Elim's time as the Qs, the double taps, all the damage from the Lucian to back everyone up as Nuclear. He's got the items, but I don't think he can 1v4.
We were baited into thinking that Showmaker was going to get a 5-man ultimate. He didn't have ultimate in the fight, so in some ways he baited himself, and KeG is going to win game 1.
Yep, they're going to be able to do it. Should be nothing that Nuclear can do unless this can be the hero play that we're looking for, but the gigantic tank Sion just walks at him. You'd think that the Ezreal's got the damage, but no. This Nexus is going to go down, and KeG, this time they're wasting no time at all, Papa Smithy. They're going to take game 1.
Is it a Christmas miracle, or is it the new norm? KeG Seoul, after taking down Hanwha Life in a reverse sweep, they're doing their business early. They're winning game number 1 against DAMWON Gaming. We will not see these 5 players play again after KeSPA Cup ends, but they're not in it for a short time. They're in it for a great time because they are going around, they are taking names, and you cannot deny that in game number 1, KeG Seoul was the better team against DAMWON Gaming.
Yeah, and I have a feeling we're getting to the point where we need to buy all 5 players at the same time because the coordination in the late game fights, the communication that they had together, absolutely amazing.
Atlas, if we didn't already know that 2 of these players are on SKT, maybe you and I should be pooling our pennies.
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
See how many caster salaries it takes to get these guys into Challengers Korea, because they look they could be pretty damn strong. KeG Seoul, so many young players, 4 players 19 or younger, 1 20-year-old player. Watch the double TP here, and consider how different this is if Lissandra has ultimate. Showmaker looks for his movement, comes in, but what does Showmaker achieve? He gets knocked up and then has to stasis, dies afterward. Gumi Yusi popping up on the Lucian, not just the Caitlyn. Takes down Showmaker in the front line. Plex is a monster on the Sion. That's all he needs to be. That's a mid lane Sion thing. Canyon trying to team fight as the Kha'Zix, a frustration and then some. They can never leverage their assets. These team fights were set up to be better for DAMWON Gaming, but even in a 5v4, they can't dot their I's, they can't cross their T's, and KeG Seoul are just too damn good.
And Pop, man, that engage with the quickness, grand entrance, just nothing that they could do. CC'd for days, was absolutely beautiful. And that was after the bottom lane got absolutely punished in the early game as well. And those two kept level heads, played behind their solo lanes, and just trashed the game in the end.
No exaggerated celebrating on the side of KeG Seoul and DAMWON. They honestly look like they could just wish they could disappear and get off the stage as fast as possible.
Well, we're going to get off the screen just for a little while. We're going to have a short commercial break. And when we get back, game number 2, we'll see whether KeG can do it again.
I got red lights all around. I'm driving home for Christmas, yeah. Get my feet on holy ground. So I sing for you, though you